Welcome to the Maine Basketball Rankings Podcast. I'm your host, basketball data nerd, Lucas McNelly. We have a special show today, and it is brought to you by Vertical Raise. Sports teams need money for helmets and cleats and shooting shirts and maybe someday a shot clock. Fingers crossed. Vertical Raise allows you to raise more money in less time. Check the show notes for information on how you can start to elevate your fundraising to new heights with Vertical Raise. One thing you maybe wouldn't use Vertical Raise for, although I don't want to put any limits on them, is to try to raise $1 million for a new field and then get Gronk to give you a new workout facility and a bunch of other stuff like that, which is what Dexter's trying to do with the Friday Night Lights 5G T-Mobile promotion that they're a finalist for. You've probably seen this. It's been all over Facebook, all over social media. The Sea Dogs are sharing it. The 800 people running for governor have shared it. Lots and lots of people around the state, and it's been really heartwarming to see everybody around the state sort of rally together for this small school to try to get a new stadium facilities, new lights, weight room, all that fun stuff. So I thought I would have Dexter's athletic director, Adam Gudroe, on to talk about the campaign, to talk about how they became the team from Maine who's selected for this, what they can do with the $1 million, what they can't do with the $1 million, all the behind the scenes little extra stuff that he's been talking about on his whirlwind media tour. So we're going to do that. And but before we do that, if you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube or wherever you're watching it, subscribe to wherever it is, whatever you do there. You subscribe on YouTube, you get the deal. It very much helps. Hit the like button, all that nonsense that you hear influencers say all the time. And then we will be back on the show next week with a new Overreactions podcast. If you haven't seen this week's Overreaction podcast yet with Haley Jones from the Sun Journal, definitely check that out. That was a very fun conversation. And I didn't really know Haley that well, and I'd only met her once. And so that was super fun to talk to her, learn more about her backstory and everything like that. That, of course, is everywhere you podcast. But now let's go to my conversation with Adam Gudroe of Dexter. My guest today is Adam Gudroe. He is the athletic director of Dexter High School and trying to win $1 million on a very strange reality show that's happening in your Facebook feed. Thanks for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me.
So in case people don't know, you've been on a whirlwind media tour, and thank you for fitting me into this. You explain to people how you are in the process of maybe winning $1 million.
So we are a finalist for the T-Mobile Friday Night 5G Lights contest. It was sent out as an application process for all rural schools, and to be considered for this particular grant of $1 million for an upgraded facility as well as an upgraded weight room for your school. You had to be in a rural area of America. They consider rural America less than 150,000 people in your town. So we're well under.
You're just barely
under that.
So is it rural because they're trying to promote that their 5G network can go to places where you wouldn't think it would go?
Yeah, I think that's their big, their big push is that they're the, quote unquote, best network across America, even in rural parts of America. So,
okay, so you're going and you're filling in the application for this, and you're obviously not going into it thinking, "Oh, we got this." No, this is a layup. So how do you even go about like applying for this and trying to decide how much effort do we put into this initial application? Like, what's the initial application look like?
So the application is pretty simple. I mean, you just had to qualify based on the criteria that they've set. That you have a football program, that you're in an area that has a certain population, and that you're in a rural community in that regard. And then you just had to tell your story. And the story was basically that you need it. You just have to create that sense that you would benefit from something like this, and that your community supports your school, supports your program, but also they have financial limitations, and that this would benefit your program.
Because they
So
don't
pretty easy story to tell.
for Dexter, because you basically you don't want to be like, well, we're under 150,000, but everybody's got their own yacht.
Yeah, right. So I mean, yeah, it's all economic based in that regard, um, and so we actually applied for this last year,
Okay.
and we were able to get $5,000 out of that process last year, which was pretty cool. And we used that to upgrade our scoreboard to a wireless system, and
Ooh.
we added some new player benches to the field. Started to, and you can see in probably my background, the field. We started to put some fencing around the field, which we
Hmm.
didn't have enough money for to finish the fencing. But
Is the fencing to keep the riffraff out?
oh yeah,
Okay.
those
Yeah.
those
What
unruly
did you
hands.
what did you do differently in this year's application process to get you over the hump going from 5,000 to 25,000? Is there something you sort of learned in the process where you went, "Oh, well, if we refine it a little bit."
Yeah, I think we really just talked about the facility itself a little bit more. Based on our you know inability to really stretch our budget as thin as it can go, and we have bleacher systems that are still original 1970s style bleachers,
Jeez.
and the field has had minor upgrades to the turf itself just to fill in some of the holes. Um, and try to get a little bit of taper to it for drainage purposes. But overall, it has had very little upgrades over the course of time from its inception, back in the late 1960s. So, with that being said, I think we were just a little bit better at telling our story, and the need for something like this in our community and in our region, really,
Hmm.
and those folks around us could benefit from such a facility if it came to be.
Because seeing it behind you, it does not seem to be as fancy as the new Greeley turf that they put in this year that can
Right.
withstand 40 inches of rain at one go.
Yeah, no. No. And you
And
can see our track that's non-existent around.
yeah, is that a track?
It,
Okay.
it, I mean, I think one day it would probably was a gravel track. It's just grass now. So
It's just mostly grass. Okay. So how far can $1 million go in a situation like this? Because I'm looking on the news and Belfast has a bond on the ballot this year for a new track and turf, and that's $3.5 million.
yeah, I think if you wanted to go, huge, you're talking a few million. For our purposes, you know, I, I think our ultimate goal would be something like that. But you'd have to get other people on board, and kind of support it financially after the fact. So, but $1 million would go a long way. And I
Sure.
mean, priority number one would be lights, right? So we don't have lights on our field. We play on a Saturday afternoon because that's when we have to play.
Hmm.
Our community historically, we've had a storied football program with multiple state championships, but none of our alumni and current football players have ever had a chance to play on a Friday night at home.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Because not even opening night, you wouldn't be able to. The sun would set too quickly.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to throw in right now that if you notice, there's a QR code next to your name, and that will take you to the votedexter.com link. So while we're talking, you can just use that QR code. You don't have to leave the screen. You can just do it on some other device and go, and people can vote every day for every email address they have, correct?
Yeah, so it's one vote per day, per person, and an email. And so you need to have a valid email to put in there to actually cast a vote. So it will, and it will kick it out if it doesn't actually have a true email address. So make sure you do put in a valid email address. Um,
They're pretty easy to
yeah,
get.
that's the method, and that's the process, and really that uh, for us, it's kind of exciting, but a little unfortunate based on population. It's coming down to the vote, and we're a
Hmm.
little bit behind, which we're not getting super discouraged about, because I really do feel like if we can get our fellow Mainers behind us, then we have the votes in our state to be able to pull this off.
I feel like, people always say Maine is just one big small town, and I think that's your superpower in this, in that, I mean, I saw the Sea Dogs share it, I
Yeah,
think yesterday,
yeah.
and Maine's got a few more people than 150,000.
I'd say a lot more than
Yeah, I
150,000.
mean,
So
so, and I just want to say, for the record, because I know you won't want to do any negative campaigning, but I will just say that the team that is in first place is in Arkansas. And
mhm.
the last time I was in Arkansas, I had a terrible experience. And I have nothing good to say about the time I spent in Arkansas. And I wish nothing good for them as a state. And then you don't have to say that. I'll just say that it was just very unpleasant, my time in Arkansas. So
I'll take your word for it. I've never been to Arkansas.
it is pretty, but it's everything else went badly. Okay, so you've had the state sort of showing up for this. What's maybe it's like a two-part question. So first of all, who was the first one? Because when you start something like this, you're like, you don't know if it's going to catch on, if
Yep.
anyone's going to care, if people are just going to go, they wouldn't have a chance. What was the first name where you went, oh, okay, this might have some legs? Because you knew like a Travis Lee would share it, someone like me, Andrew Hart at Maine high school football would share it. You knew you had those in the bag, but there had to be someone where you're like, okay, this is outside of our normal circles.
Yeah, it's hard to put. I'm kind of racking my brain a little bit here because we've had some pretty amazing folks share for us and support us and promote this for us. So I'd like to say that most of that actually was not us begging and pleading. It was just like pushing it out there, like can you guys support a small community in Maine?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the Mallet Brothers band popped up there, and we're like, all right, we've got the Mallet Brothers, we've got politicians, Susan
That's an
Collins, and
easy sell for a
yeah,
politician.
yeah, yeah.
There's like 800 people running for governor. They're all going to share it.
So yeah, and so I mean, obviously, we're going to take advantage of that as much
Yeah.
as possible. I'm trying to kind of think about this a little bit. Trying to get Bob Marley finally posted as well,
Oh,
so
okay.
that's awesome. So just a few main personalities. We're still trying to get a few more on board and trying to make this as far reaching as possible. So we actually just had a social media personality from Mississippi
Nice.
reach out and post on his social media platform and
He probably also has issues with Arkansas.
he might actually. I think it's because he has a little beef with Larry the Cable Guy, who's supporting the school in Arkansas. So
Oh, well, there you go. Okay. So this is the issue. So they got Larry the Cable Guy. We could have beef with Larry the Cable Guy. He's not even a real cable guy.
right,
It's all
exactly.
made up. Who's the white whale that you would want to get? If I said to you, you can get one person with a Maine connection, not like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something, but with a legitimate Maine connection to like be your champion, who would you want?
Well, I mean, ultimately, it's somebody that we can't actually get because of some contract issues. Cooper Flag. I mean,
Okay.
we can't get him. He has a contract with AT&T, so
Oh,
he can't
right.
promote T-Mobile. So
The
that,
bingo
that was that
commercial.
was the one. That was the one we were trying for originally, and we found out that can't happen. So
That goes one of my questions right there.
yeah,
What about
yeah.
Ace? Does Ace have a
Well,
contract
I
at
think there's
AT&T?
that family connection, so I don't think they want to do anything to interrupt that contract that he has. So,
Yeah,
which I totally understand. We're not we understand how the business works. So,
that was
um,
a really good commercial too. That
yeah,
bingo commercial.
exactly,
So,
exactly.
you,
I'd love to see Patrick Dempsey come on board.
oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, maybe a little Anna Kendricks or something like that. Some main
Mm-hmm.
ties to some folks.
Tim Simons, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
That
So
would be a good one. Yeah. I
I
mean, see, I think there's enough. There's enough Maine connection celebrities. I always tell people that Maine is a really strong brand because, like, I was listening to some podcast today, and someone's like, "Oh, my so and so has a place in Maine," and they're like, "Oh, Maine, ooh, fancy." And you don't hear that about Arkansas.
that's right. That's right. I
Like,
mean,
no one says, "Oh, Arkansas, that must be nice."
maybe the people living there say that, but
Maybe, maybe. Um, okay, so you get the $1 million you can upgrade. What are the limitations on what you can do with the money?
So they send a consultant out. The way that whole piece works is they're going to try to get as much for that $1 million upgrade as possible. The whole package itself, to be honest, is probably closer to 1.8
Because there's
million.
like a weight room thing from
Yeah.
Gronk, and
Yeah,
yeah,
and 16 school officials get VIP trip to the SEC championship game in
how tough is
December.
the competition for that?
Well, obviously we're going to have to do a little bit of, bartering, if we ever did win that to see who actually would be going. So that would be a great problem to have.
Yep. People are on the list. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
how many times have you shared it on
Yeah,
Facebook?
right, right. I've done all this work, right? So, I mean, I should get a ticket, right? So,
So they send the consultant, so you're not like, I mean, not wasting the money isn't the right thing, but maybe how to best spend the money. So you don't do something weird like put in a
yeah.
monorail.
Yeah, no. I think they have consultants that come up, to say, hey, you can do X, Y, and Z to get the most out of this $1 million. Obviously, that our priority number one, like I said, is lights. So making sure
Mm-hmm.
that that's engineered correctly, and we have a great lighted facility. Upgrading our stadium seating. Maybe even having a little bit of money to do a track around
Oh,
that facility. So if you go by the raw numbers of it all, lights and a track would eat up that million pretty quick.
pretty quickly. Like a
So
legit track. Yeah.
yeah. So we'd have to really kind of think about that and prioritize. What do we want the turf to feel like, look like?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure the drainage is proper, and that we definitely have irrigation potentially that it's a little bit better than we have now, which is pretty non-existent. So
Taking a quick break from the show to tell you why you should subscribe to MaineBasketballRankings.com. Yes, it's an ad for the website on the podcast, hosted on the website, and you'll get over it. So at MaineBasketballRankings.com for $6 a month, you get rankings that are very good and they hate your team without question, but it's all sorts of fun information about your team, about their strength of schedule, how their scoring offense ranks, their scoring defense, lots of things like that. You also get heel points, which you can read, because have you seen the other options for heel points? It's a disaster. You can read these, you can see that your schedule coming up, be like, oh, that team's not worth a lot of points. Oh, this team's worth a lot of points. This is the game we have to win. You also get a spread for every game on the schedule. Hey, we're only favored by 2.5 points tonight. That's ridiculous. Are you kidding me? We're 1.5 point underdogs. That's crazy. And then maybe you're wondering why your coach is coaching so hard, down 15 in the fourth quarter. Well, it's because he's a 13.5 point underdog, and it doesn't matter, but he wants to beat the spread because we always want to beat the spread no matter who we are. So that's mainbasketballrankings.com. $6 a month, or for the free version, you can get a daily newsletter during the season. Now, back to the show. Yeah, because you don't want to like put in a turf and then put in a bad turf, and in 5 years it's already starting to wear out. And you're like,
yeah,
oh, geez.
yeah. So ultimately, we want it to be a usable space for our athletes, for our community, and a place that people can gather and support our school and cheer on our kids.
And one thing, so part of it is also the weight room. I saw, it looked like maybe the girls' soccer team or something was sharing video of the weight room, which is in rough
Yeah.
shape.
Oh, well, again, we're talking about a 1960s building. Uh,
Yep.
and it's where it's really unique because where the weight room is, it goes down into like a basement area. If you saw that video,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it's underneath our stage. So it goes underneath our stage, and that's where our weight room is. It used to be the old shooting range back in the day when they had, they could bring, guns to school, and I thought that was a good idea. So, uh,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So that was that's where the weight room is now, and it's concrete, walls, floor, ceiling,
A little bit of carpet.
little bit of, yeah, I don't
in
even know.
places?
I don't even know what you want to call that right now. I think it used to be a carpet, and now I don't. It's probably alive at this point. So, but yeah, no, I joke about it. It, as you saw in the video, it needs an upgrade.
Yeah.
And that would be a completely new facility through Gronk Fitness, and upgraded equipment. The physical space would be completely renovated, uh, and it would just be an amazing resource for our athletes, not just our football players, like you said. I mean, it was actually our field hockey players that were going
Okay.
down and showing that video, but it would be great for all of our athletes.
Yeah, I was thinking that like if you're upgrading the weight room, that's not just football. That's going to be soccer. That's going to be basketball. That's going to be baseball. That's going to be everybody who can use that.
For sure.
That's the athletic director able to use it probably.
Yeah,
When the
he,
kids
he
aren't
might
in
be able
there.
to get in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I saw the video early and I was going to look it up before we recorded, but I ran out of time. So Gronk shot video of all the schools, and did you go to a thing or did they come to you? Because I saw you were in a video, right? With like a bunch of T-Mobile branding behind you. Like
Yeah.
initially?
So T-Mobile has been, and again, I'm not trying to advertise for anybody in particular, but this is a T-Mobile competition, and they've been great to us.
Hey.
And they've given us a lot of fanfare, and merchandise, to be able to do your backdrops, to do your that was our announcement celebration. So the kids didn't know anything about it, and
Okay.
this, I knew probably a week and a half before we announced it to the whole student body and staff and community. So, you're trying to like organize this without
But
people
keep it
knowing what
quiet.
it is. And then,
Yeah.
to make it pretty special and a pretty cool experience. And so T-Mobile, our local rural dreams reps, they came up and helped us with that promotion and announcement ceremony. And that's when we shared on the screen the Gronk video to the student
Okay.
body. Um,
So Gronk didn't come up to Dexter.
he did not. He shared a video and sent it to us.
Well, that's something.
Yeah, yeah.
Of the 25 schools, if we got Gronk on here right now, how many do you think he could name of the 25?
Oh, it's a good question. I don't know. He just, he spent a lot of time in Boston just recently, opening up his new playground down there. So he was
Mm-hmm.
probably pretty focused on that. I don't know if he would remember too many of the school's names. So
They probably just gave him a list. It's
yeah,
like when like Conan O'Brien would go through the affiliates and they're like, "What channel is this?" Okay, great.
yeah. We
Let's
only
read them
needed
all.
to remember one name, so that's all that
Yeah,
matters. So,
that's true. That's true. And he was awfully excited about the Patriots win over the Bills. So
absolutely.
I mean, that
We
was
were
a
one of
good game.
only two New England schools in this competition. So
Do we know if any of the main schools, because there's also the 5,000 group, do we know if any main schools made the 5,000
So
cut?
I actually was curious about the same thing, and I looked through their website, the T-Mobile website, and their $5,000 Friday $5,000 winners throughout the course of this competition. I didn't see any main schools on the
I didn't either,
list.
but I was going real fast
Yeah,
through it.
yeah, I didn't notice any. I know that a few schools around us had also put an application in for this grant in this competition. So last year, I think it was us and Old Town, those Dexter Regional High School and Old Town High School, both in the state of Maine, had $5,000 awarded grants given to them.
But if it's under 150K, I mean, that's got to be most of the state could do
Oh,
that.
absolutely. Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
think, right?
Yeah. I would think most schools in the state of Maine would qualify to apply for this if you have a football program.
Right.
So,
I mean, not your Bangor or probably, Portland, places like that. But
yep.
I mean, I would think Coney would be eligible even.
I don't know their rough population or their numbers, but yeah, most communities in the state of Maine would qualify.
Okay. So for all the schools who are watching this around the state and going, what advice would you give them for crafting their appeal, their pitch for 2026, assuming T-Mobile does this?
Yeah, I would just talk about your community, how much support that they provide to your school and your program. The facility itself, and maybe some of the specific needs and upgrades for player safety, but also for community pride and a gathering space. I'd also talk about the harsh Maine weather and what that does to facilities.
Yeah.
Um, all those I think are pretty key talking points and things you can elaborate on a little bit to show that there is a need, and that football and athletics in Maine is a pretty vibrant part of our lives and experiences, and so we want to support them as much as we can.
Yeah. What has been the strategy like in trying to get the word out? Because I know you got the T-shirts that you're wearing right now.
Yeah, so
Uh,
you know,
I
what was
saw
it?
I saw Rennie's had a bunch of employees wearing
Yeah,
T-shirts. They had a Facebook post. Like,
yeah,
what's the inner workings behind the scenes of like trying to brainstorm ideas? But like, and maybe shout out some of the people because I'm sure
yeah.
it's not just you.
Oh, absolutely. So we have several folks in our community that have stepped up. I don't know if I'd be able to name them all, but Millworks Apparel, Frank Spizzuko, he's the one that has been, working his tail off behind the scenes, trying to figure out ways to get this promoted across, media sources, as well as like just pounding the pavement and getting out there for information out to folks that maybe don't use social media that often, but
Mm-hmm.
have a cell phone and they can just click vote. um,
Hit the QR code over there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So our local DRHS Sports Academy class. That's our biggest piece of this, and those that don't know the competition, it is social media driven.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have a school specific Instagram, X account, and Facebook account that is school specific, and that's what you're posting on. You tag on those for T-Mobile, Friday Night 5G Lights, and the T-Mobile folks are watching that on social
Mm-hmm.
media, and they're seeing all the posts and the community support and spirit, and that's what got us to that finalist position, was all of the social media posts and support that they were seeing online, which pushed us to that top 25
Wait,
staff.
so did they announced the 5K and then there was posting and then the 25K? Or did right?
So
Am
so
I
every
understanding that correctly?
so the way that T-Mobile, they just as a way to get more schools involved and provide more resources um, to rural schools across America, they gave out 450 schools
Mm-hmm.
this year $5,000. So they do these Friday weekly 5,000 giveaways, and so they pick schools every week on Friday to win those 5,000 based on social media posts and community spirit and support that way. Um, so we were lucky enough last year to get 5,000,
Right.
and when I got the call this year, that's what I thought we were going to get again, and then they, you know, threw a curveball and said, "Hey, you're a finalist." So.
Okay. Okay. I was thinking maybe that there was like a whole level of this competition that I completely missed because I was not paying attention or something. Okay.
No, that was it. That was it.
Okay. Okay.
Um, yeah,
Now, there has been, because Facebook is Facebook, there's been some people complaining, oh, why does Dexter get this and we don't get this and things like that.
yeah.
What, because Facebook just needs to be, whatever. What do you say when you hear stuff like that not, that's you can say publicly?
Well, it's
Because I'm sure there's an internal dialogue where you're like,
yeah,
uh,
I think if for those schools that did apply, I it is a bummer. Obviously, you're applying and you're putting your application in there, you're putting time into it, and you're posting social media content, and you're showing support for your program and your teams and your community. So when you don't get anything on the back end for all that time and effort, that is a bummer, right?
mhm.
And so I can see why somebody would be, a little, disappointed in not being in this position. So unfortunately for them, they're not, and fortunately for us that we are. And we are the only one in Maine.
Right.
Uh, so we're not trying to. I probably initially it probably felt like you were competing against some other schools in Maine for this chance, but right now we're not. We're not competing against anybody else in the state of Maine. We're the only ones. We're the only ones that have a chance for it, and it is
Mhm.
a great opportunity for our school and our community and our region. But it's a great spotlight for our state and our athletic programs and just our community spirit and pride. So I would argue just because you can't win this, why wouldn't you want another school in Maine to win it?
Yeah.
Um,
Not these
why would you
Arkansas
want a
people.
Why would you want a school in Arkansas or
Yeah.
Oregon or wherever?
No.
Why would you want them to win it when a Maine school, a small rural Maine school that probably is very similar to the one that you currently go to or reside in could win this, which would be amazing.
And even if they're your most bitter rival, they would still get to play on the field
Oh,
once a
absolutely.
year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I mean, this isn't going to turn you guys into like an unbeatable juggernaut all by itself. It's just, going to be a little safer and you can play on Friday nights and you can have a weight room that's not scary.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I would think the benefit would be for everybody you play.
yeah. Anything like this, any kind of resource like this for our small state and our small region that we currently live in. I don't know why anybody would want to have that opportunity to play on a field like that.
And I would maybe theorize that the people complaining the most did not actually apply and have done absolutely nothing towards this other than post on Facebook.
And I will be honest with you, like we have schools right next door to us that have given us a lot of love and support and votes, and they were ones that had applied.
Mm-hmm.
So, we like you said, rivals. We have rivals that we compete with in most of our athletic programs that post on their social media sites. Hey, don't forget to support our neighbors and vote for Dexter.
I would say it's been 90% positive, 95% positive.
Oh, I
And
agree.
the outpouring statewide has surprised me at minimum. So, that's something. Um, let's see what I had one more question for you, I think. What would you think? Like, let's say you don't win and these people from Arkansas win it. What do you think the long-term benefit is beyond whatever you can do with the 25,000? Do you think there's a community pride benefit to it? Do you think there's a statewide, you know, maybe we finally found something that people can come together about, you know, across the state? Like, what do you think the long-term impact is of it beyond what the money can or cannot do?
Well, I think something good's already come out of this, and like you mentioned, I think it's that community support. Not only for our community, but just like you said, in general, it's been positive. It's been something that people can rally behind and not fight over. So
Mhm.
I think that the ability to communicate to the larger community how much athletics means to our school systems and our small communities in Maine. Um, that it's important to support that, not just showing up to the games, but also financially trying to support the need for basic upgrades to let our kids play on um, great facilities with the proper equipment, and just support us that way. I think something good is going to come out of this. It already has. Like I said, we have 25,000 already. um, we have a T-Mobile hosted home game happening on the 18th of
Oh,
this
cool.
month, which is going to be a huge fanfare and a outpouring of community support. It's free admission. We're giving food away. I mean, we're
Ooh.
going to have magenta everywhere, so it's going to be a pretty cool place. And T-Mobile is hosting that for us, so which is pretty cool. um, and we'll film that and push that on social media, and then hopefully somebody, even if we don't come out on top, which I'm still hopeful, that somebody might, people might just say, you know what, let's try to help these guys out. Let's try to figure out a way to fundraise. Let's try to figure out a way to get these lights put up. Let's try to figure out a way to upgrade some of our, old pieces of equipment. And I think something good is going to come out of this.
I mean, if I were just to pick a company at random, LL Bean, and you guys didn't make it, the PR of stepping in and saying, you know what, we're going to chip in some money to help out these facilities would be immense.
Oh, it would. And like I said, it's, this could quickly roll into a fundraising campaign, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, we're still hopeful that things will catch fire, and that, we have our fellow Mainers that are just going to say, you know what, let's let these guys win this thing and just jump on and start voting, because it's gonna take a while. We're 200,000 behind, but I know we have votes in the state that could make it happen.
Oh yeah. Who are you playing on the 18th?
Holton.
Okay. Yeah. That could be a pretty good game.
Yeah, I think it will be a great game.
Get those county folks involved there.
Yeah, we've already pushed out.
They can get crazy.
Yeah, I said, come on down. It's gonna be a great time.
Awesome. Yeah. Do you want to say anything negative about Arkansas before I let you go, or
probably not? I'll keep it a good PR here. So.
All right. So give people the pitch one more time, where they can go, votedexter.com, all that, and where can they get those shirts you're wearing? Are those?
So we're going to try to hand some out at that game on the 18th. Like I said, our Millworks Custom Apparel, Frank Spizzuco, he's the one that spearheaded the shirts. He had a bunch that he was handing out. I don't know how many he has left. I mean, he's been handing them a lot out. So, but come to the game if you guys are interested, and make sure you vote Dexter.com. You can either do it on the T-Mobile site or the QR code on the screen, but votedexter.com is a pretty easy one to remember, and it goes right to our T-Mobile voting page. You just put in your email, hit I'm not a robot, and cast your vote.
Perfect. Well, best of luck. Where everybody in the state, I think, is rooting for you. And let's beat these Arkansas people.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I think we can do it, and we appreciate all the support that we've received so far. So thank you for letting me come on your show.
Oh, my pleasure. All right, that's good. A good end point. I'm gonna do this thing so I can see the end point. That went well. Thanks for doing it.
All right. I appreciate you. You're getting me on here.
Oh, no problem. No problem. It's an easy thing. And I was like, oh, wait, I should have him on because people will watch that and like it, and it'll help. So it's a win-win.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. I might actually go up on the 18th unless there's like some crazy good game near me. So
yeah, come on up.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like that sounds like an event.
It is an event. It will be bounce house and face painting and T-Mobile trucks, and we've got a live DJ, a halftime show. We got it all.
Wow. Is that going to be a Saturday game?
It's a Saturday at 1:00.
Saturday at 1:00. Okay. All right. Cool. I may see you up there.
Okay. Perfect.
All right. Cool. Thanks a bunch. This will probably be out tomorrow morning.
Awesome.
I'll put it on Facebook and all the places.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Okay. Thanks again to Adam for joining me. I might go to that game on the 18th. That sounds like a lot of fun. Holton and Dexter on a Saturday afternoon with all sorts of T-Mobile stuff going on at a bounce house. I'm a little too big for the bounce house, and that might be too much to bring the kid, but still, that looks like a ton of fun and an event. So definitely votedexter.com. Hit the QR code that was up earlier in the thing. Votedexter.com will be in the show notes. You can vote every day. You can make up as many email address accounts as you want, and we got to beat these people from Arkansas because I really had a bad time in Arkansas, and they don't deserve $1 million for a football field. To be honest, it was people from Los Angeles because it was on a film shoot, and that was a disaster, and the director was really a jerk. So it's really Los Angeles' fault, but I think guilt by association is fair here because the Arkansas, I mean, they gave them the film permit, and it was like they had no idea what they were doing. And I think there was an Arkansas connection. I don't think they just randomly picked it. I think the guy was originally from there or something, or he had relatives from there. Either way, bad situation all around. And so you don't want them to win this thing. So votedexter.com, vote early, vote often. You don't need an ID to vote. You just need a email address. All right, that's going to do it. This has been a production of MaineBasketballRankings.com, your source for the most comprehensive coverage of Maine high school basketball from Ashland to York and everywhere in between. Thanks again to Vertical Rays for sponsoring this episode. This podcast is available wherever you listen to podcasts and a bunch of places you don't. If you enjoy this, please leave a nice review because it really does help out with algorithms. Tell your friends, tell your enemies. Thanks for listening. VoteDexter.com.